So tonight for Chi Alpha United, we have Jacob and Kristen sharing
5 keys to real fellowship.
Okay.
Emphasis on real.
Okay. Let me do a little introduction. Jacob and Kristen used to do Chi Alpha in the US. And actually, Jacob came to Japan several years ago before he was married and served with Chi Alpha one summer. And now he's back as a full-time missionary with his family. They have 3 beautiful children. And we'll let you share more about your family with us. So I'll hand it to you, Jacob and Kristen. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, I just, when you said that about our kids, we were just like, oh, we should have put a picture of our kids on here. But they're upstairs watching a movie right now. So that's why they're not.
Otherwise, they'd
be right here teaching with us. They could probably teach us a lot. So maybe we should have let them come down here. But yeah, so that we moved here in April, and we are from Texas and have been in ministry for the past 9 or 10 years. But we both got saved in Chi Alpha in college. Both of us were 18 years old when we first came to know the Lord, and it was in a Chi Alpha in Texas. Some people met us on campus, and we had never really met Christians, real Christians before. We had met people who called themselves Christians and stuff like that, but people who really were full of Jesus and who really showed us what it meant to walk with God for the first time was in college. And we both just immediately were hungry for that, and we both got saved together, really. Same time period, I mean, and we started dating off and on. It's a long story, you know. She broke up with me once. But we dated all throughout college, and we got married right when we graduated. And yeah, we had the Lord called us into ministry together. It's all a really long story, but we fell in love with seeing people come to know Jesus. So that's basically what happened. Both of us got to see people get saved in college in Texas, and we just fell in love with that, and we wanted to do that for the rest of our lives. So the Lord called, whenever I came to Japan on a short-term trip, the Lord really spoke to me, but at that point she wasn't there. And so there was a long process of us seeking the Lord and asking him what he wanted for us in Japan. But a couple years ago, he really confirmed in both of our hearts to come. And so we moved here in April, and we've been studying the language, and we've been a part of Tokyo Metro Church, which is in Kunitachi, west of Tokyo. And it's been amazing. We've made some really wonderful friends and feel honestly like it's family there. So we're really grateful to be where we're at right now. And yeah, so that's that. I guess you could play my slides there if you've got them, or should I? So fellowship is just another word for friendship, but it's a friendship that I think can only be had under certain circumstances.
フレンドシップと友情と似たような言葉で、フェローシップっていう言葉があるんですけれども、交わりと日本語では訳されてますけれども、友情とその交わりは少し違って、友情っていうのはある状況の中でのみの人間関係かなと思います。
And I put real fellowship because I do feel like there's a need in today's world for more than just surface level friendships. So real fellowship as opposed to something fake.
真実なって本物の人間関係というふうに、載せたんですけれども、なんかこの世の関係というのはやっぱり表面的なことがすごく多いので、そうではなくて真実のっていうのはもっと深いものだと思います。
And I believe this is such an important thing in our lives. I think that everybody was made for fellowship Nobody was made to be alone.
とてもこれ大事な問題だと思います。というのは人間というのは、誰かと関係を持つために作られたわけで、一人ぼっちになるのために作られたわけではないからです。
So you can go to the next slide, TJ.
ヨハネによる福音書の13章35節です。
So he says, by this all will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another.
そこにはこう書かれています。互いの間に愛があるなら、それによってあなた方が私の弟子であることをすべての人が認めるようになります。
So, there's a lot of talk and people, a lot of prayers for revival to happen in Japan right now.
日本でもたくさん祈りが積まれて、リバイバルを祈っています。
And, there's lots of people have opinions on what needs to happen to see revival here.
でリバイバルが起きるためには、こういうことが起きなきゃいけないっていうことを言う人もいます。
And Jesus, he didn't say, the whole world will know you're my disciples if you are really talented at sharing the gospel. He didn't say that.
イエス様は、あなたがいろんな才能を持ってて、それで一生懸命福音を述べ伝えたら私の、弟子であることを分かるとは言いませんでした。
What he did say is that we can reach the whole world if we have love for one another.
だけど、世界中に、弟子を、述べ伝え、なんでしょう、届くようにするには、互いの愛に愛があるなら、とイエス様は言われたんです。
So that's what impacted me the most before I was a Christian.
で、私がクリスチャンになる前は、このことを聞いて、すごく、驚いたし、なんか感動したんですね。
I met people who had a real love for each other and a real love for me that I had never seen anywhere else in the world.
で、私に対して本物の愛を持っている人なんて世界中に誰もそれまで見たことなかったんです。
And I wanted that and I wanted to be like that.
で、それが欲しいと思いましたし、そういう関係を持ちたいと思いました。
And I think that we need to realize that this is our most important job as Christians is to love one another.
で、もしクリスチャンとして互いに愛し合うことが一番大事な仕事であるなら、
It doesn't, if we do everything else right, if we are, do all this evangelism and all sorts of things, but then we don't have love for each other as Christians, people are going to come and they're going to see that it's fake and they're going to leave.
で一生懸命福音を述べ伝えていろんなことをしても、もし互いの間に愛がなければ、他の人は、クリスチャンはなんか、表面的で、本物ではないなと感じてしまうでしょう。
So, in other words, our love for each other is our most powerful weapon.
ですので、互いの間に本物の愛があるのは、それは最大の武器となります。
So we're going to talk about 5 different things that make for real fellowship, and I'm going to let Kristen start.
では次、お話はクリスチャンがしてくれますけれども、5つの、要素、本物の人間関係のための5つの要素を、お話ししたいと思います。
Okay, so yeah, these 5 things have, like Jacob said, we share these with you because in experiencing them, they have, I don't think it's any overstatement to say that they've changed our life.
これから話すことは、とても本当に大事で、私たちの人生をもうすべて変えたと言ってももう過言じゃありません。
So the first one is commitment.
まず第一はコミットメントです。
And when we talk about commitment, we're saying that in friendship, there ought to be this there ought to be this decision and we're talking about in friendship to be able to say, like, we're going to marry each other, not literally, but we're going to marry each other in our hearts. Like, I'm going to stick with you. And at the start of the friendship, we make that choice.
で、友情を始めるというときは、コミットメントをする決意が必要です。あたかも結婚するときのように、あなたに、もうずっと、そばにいますっていうような、その決心を友情の間でもすることです。
And so that means, like, so real marriage is not like, it's like, I'm just going to stay with the old man, even though I hate him. And even though he's annoying, I'm just going to stay with him. Like, that's never what God intended marriage to be. So when we talk about like saying, I'm going to stick with you as a friend, we mean like the way God designed marriage, which is saying, I'm going to love you on good days, on bad days, in sickness and health. Like, I'm going to stick with you no matter what. I want to be close to you. I want to know you.
例えば結婚関係においても、この人はまああんまり好きじゃないけど、でもまあ旦那さんだし、まあ付き合うか、ずっと一緒にいるかっていう、そういうのは本物の結婚の関係ではありません。で、同様に友情関係でも、もう何が起きても、本当に健康な時も辞める時も、何があってもあなたのことを見捨てないよ、一緒にいるよっていうその決心が必要なんです。
And so I don't know about you, but like Jacob said, we got saved when we were 18, and most of my friendships before that had been just sort of, we had common interest or just sort of coincidence. We kind of became friends because we were in the same place at the same time. But when we become friends as Christians, we have a commonality that's so much greater. It's an eternal commonality.
独身の時に、まあ18歳で私たちは救われたとさっきお話ししたんですけれども、その前の、それまでの友情というのは、共通の興味があったり、まあ偶然に一緒になったりして、まあ育まれたものでしたが、クリスチャンになってからはそうではなくて、こう永遠のものを共に持っているという共通項があります。
And so, all throughout my life as a kid, I remember I'd have best friends, and they would be my best friend for maybe a couple years until I kind of started to get like annoyed by something they did. Like, they would just, wasn't necessarily even a big thing, but they just started to bother me, and it was sort of like, ugh, I didn't want to deal with it, and I just sort of distanced myself.
子供の頃には親友という人は何人かいましたけれども、それはまあ、数年間の間は親友でして、その人に何か嫌な面を私が見ちゃったりすると、一緒にいたくないからといって、距離を置いたりしました。
And so when I became a Christian, the Lord surrounded me with some really wonderful friends.
で、クリスチャンになってからは神様は私の周りに素晴らしい友達を送ってくださいました。
And I remember thinking, God, I'm going to know that this is real, like my walk with you, and that I've really changed if, because time passes and things are going to happen with these friendships and things are going to bother me at some point. But if even when that happens, like I knew it would be this moment of like a miracle if I was going to have this kind of commitment with my friendships.
その時神様に言ったんですね。本物のコミットメントを持って、この人たちと、あなたが送ってくださった人たちと付き合うなら、もし、なんか、もうこの人嫌だと思うことがあっても、私は友情を続けていけると思いました。
And so you can go to the next slide, TJ. And this is my friend Caitlin and I back in college.
これ大学生の時の友達で、Kayla? Her name is
Caitlin or Kate Train. Yeah, Caitlin.
私です。
Hi. And so we are best friends.
親友です。仲いいです。
and we got saved together and began to start winning. Like we would go out on campus and just try to like meet people for the Lord. And we moved in to get, like we had some other roommates, but we all decided we're going to live together through college. And we actually shared a room together.
18歳の時に一緒にイエス様を信じて救われて、それからキャンパスの中でイエス様のことをいろんな人に話して、その人たちも信じるようになって、で、とても仲良かったので、大学生活の中では一緒に、住んでました。
And sure enough, about 2 years into our friendship, we're sharing a room and together all the time, and I start to feel irritated by her.
で、2年間ぐらい経った頃に、ちょっとこの人のこういうとこ気に食わないみたいな気持ちになりました。
And I didn't know what to do. And
どうしたらいいか分からなくなっちゃって。
And so I started ignoring her.
その結果、彼女を無視するようになりました。
But I didn't want to do it. But I was just like, I couldn't help it.
そういうことしたくなかったんですよ。せざるを得ない状況になってしまいました。
But we shared a room. So like I would be like in one bed and she's in the other, and we would talk like every night before bed, but there I was, and I would just turn my back to the wall and I wasn't talking, but I was like, God, help me. Like I don't want to be angry.
一緒の部屋で寝てて、仲良かった時は、ベッドの中でお話しして寝てたんですけれども、その仲が悪くなってからは、話せず、顔も向けず、もう神様どうしたらいいんだろうって祈ってました。
So about a week and a half into this, all of a sudden I'm staring at my wall, ignoring her, and all of a sudden I feel her kind of sit down at the end of my bed.
で、1週間半ぐらい経って、そういう日が続いたんですね。で、壁を向いていた時に、私のベッドに彼女が座っているのを感じました。
And all of a sudden, she starts doing what Jesus would do, and she starts like rubbing my feet.
そして、その彼女は何をしたかというと、イエス様がしたことと同じことをしました。私の足を、さすってくれました。
And with the sweetest, most humble voice, she just goes, Kristen, have I done something to hurt you?
で、すごく優しい声で、クリステン、私何か悪いことした？あなた傷つけてしまった？と聞いてきました。
And it was a really simple thing for her to do that.
彼女、それをしたのは、すごく大それたことではなかったですよね。
But it took a great amount of humility, and it changed the trajectory of my life.
しかしその行動をすることは、謙虚なることが必要でして、その結果、trajectory, what's that?
Like the direction. It changed where I would have headed, but it changed to the right direction.
どこに行ったらわからないと思ってた私は、よし、こっちの方向に行くべきだということが示されました。
And we talked it out, and ultimately, I realized, and even today, like I realized we are going to be committed to each other, and we're not going to be the kind of friends that are going to break up as soon as we get irritated.
それで、私は、お互い彼女も、コミットメントを持つことを決めました。ちょっと嫌なことがあったからといって、じゃあもうこの関係終わりねっていうことは、ないという決心です。
Okay, we're going to move on to the next one. Sorry, taking a while on these. Okay, common understanding.
2つ目は、共通の理解です。
Okay, do we have this verse there? 1 Corinthians 1:10. Okay, now I beseech you, brothers, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, I beg you all to be one in what you say, not divided in fellowship, but united in the same mind and in the same thought.
コリントビテへの手紙第1の1章10節。さて、兄弟たち、私たちの主イエス・キリストの名によって、 あなた方にお願いします。どうか皆が語ることを一つにして、仲間割れせず、同じ心、同じ考えで一致してください。
Okay, so real fellowship is impossible if we don't have shared convictions and beliefs about our reality, like about who God is and who we are as Christians.
その一致した信条を持っていないと、自分の信じるものを、神様とはどういうお方かということを一致したものを持っていないと、本当の友情は生まれないと思います。
So like unity is not just being like, oh, we just never argue, or like we never talk about things that we don't agree on. Like that's not real unity.
一致するっていうのは、反対意見を持たないとか、反対意見はあると分かってたら、じゃあそのことについては話し合わないでおこうということとは違います。
Unity is coming to agreement on things.
一致するということは、それぞれの意見はあるかもしれませんが、それを、一致に持っていくということです。
And I think that in order to have in order to have common understanding, there first must be that idea of commitment.
共通の理解を持つためには、まずそのコミットメントしようという意思が必要です。
Because if you're worried about bringing something up when you disagree, then like if you're worried about bringing something up when you disagree, it's because you're not sure, you're kind of unstable in the friendship. You're like, are they going to be my friend if I say this? Are they not? You're not sure.
Right.
But if there's commitment, then you know it's safe to bring something up when you disagree.
もし意見の違うことを言うのにあたって、その友情関係、安全な関係を持っていなければ、これ言うことによってもしかしたら壊れてしまうかもっていう恐れを持ってしまうので、一致を持って話し合いはできないです。
In fact, the other day, it was really a powerful moment because one of our, well, we moved here in April, so a newer friend to us, we had a disagreement about how to handle a situation, and this friend calls us and is like, can I come over? And we say sure, and they come over, and we just sit there and we talk it out, and we come to a place of agreement. And it was like afterwards, and we've even felt it, we were like, I think we're like real brothers and sisters now after that. Like something powerful happened when he knew he could come and disagree with us, and we could come to a place of agreement. And that was our goal.
私たち4月に日本に来たわけですけれども、新しい場所に来たわけですけれども、ある兄弟と意見が食い違ってたんですが、その兄弟がちょっと家に来ていいかというので、来てもらって話し合いをしたところ、妥協というか同意する点まで到達できたんですね。これすごいことだと私は思いました。意見が違ってたけど、同意しなかったけど、同意するという、この現象はすごいことだと思います。
Okay, so we're going to go to the next one, the next C, which is constant forgiveness. So
3つ目は許し続けるということです。
forgiveness is not a C, but constant is, and the Bible is clear that it has to be constant.
許すのは一回許せばいいってだけじゃなくて、許し続けるということが大事というのは聖書の概念です。
Okay, so when you really love people, like really from your heart, you're thinking about other people, you actually become unoffendable.
もしあなたがすごく大好きで大事な人がいたとします。そうすると、その人を傷つけることは言いたくないと思ってしまいます。
Because love has a way of always wanting to believe the best about other people.
で、愛というのはその人の一番いいものを信じたいと思うからです。
So often I kind of feel like forgiveness comes into play more often than not on minor offenses rather than really major ones.
なんかちっちゃい、そう、offense is, you said,
Like hurts, like
yeah,
things that hurt
攻
you.
撃、So that you would be unoffensible, or you would be
Like-
offensive.
You when
You
you
can't be offended when, yeah.
あ
Like
あ
like
自
even with
分が
little
攻
little
撃、
things.
なんか傷つけられるということはないということです。
okay, so like let's say you're walking into Chi Alpha, you're going to the Chi Alpha house and you're walking in and you're like, oh hey Susan, and Susan like doesn't say hello back.
じゃあ、例えば私がスチューデントセンターに行って、スーザンに会って、いや、スーザン、こんにちはって言っても、スーザンが返事しなかったとします。
And you start thinking, like, let's say you're in your head and you're thinking, wait, did I do something to hurt Susan's feelings? Like, is she mad at me? Why didn't she say hi?
あなたの頭の中は多分こうだと思います。どうしてスーザンは挨拶してくれなかったの？私なんか悪いことしちゃったかなって。
And then she like starts talking to somebody else and you're like, is she talking about me now? Is she mad at me?
で、スーザンの方を見て、私と喋ってくれるかしらって。まだ怒ってる？
But when your mind is not, that's like when your mind's on yourself. But if your mind is not on yourself and you're loving people and Susan doesn't say hi, you're just like, oh, she must be working on something, or she must be busy, or she must not have heard me.
もし、今みたいなことを考えてしまうのは、それは自分のことを見ているからです。もし、他の客観的に見たり、スーザンのことを見ようとしてたら、もしかしたら彼女は忙しくて、聞こえなかったかもしれない、思うでしょう。
But these are often the kind of offenses that start to break apart fellowship.
こういうことがきっかけで、友情というのは壊れたりしちゃいます。
But God calls us to believe the best about each other.
しかし、お互いの一番いいところを信じるということを神様は私たちに求められています。
And most often, it's not about us.
大抵のことは私たちのことが原因でないことが多いです。
All right, I'm going to pass it back off to Jacob.
Okay, so number 4 is common unselfishness.
じゃあ次の要素は、お互いに無私の心を持つということです。
So this one's it's kind of obvious what it means, but both people in a friendship have to be unselfish.
友情関係にあるその両方の人たちが、自己中心でない思いでいることが大事です。
So both of you have to be not thinking primarily of your own needs in the relationship.
その関係の中では自分のことばっかり、自分のことを考えるということでは、友情ではありません。
And this is one thing that we are always trying to teach our children is, if two people are saying me, and they're trying to get something, they're always just thinking about themselves, there's going to be fights. But if everybody is thinking about the happiness of other people, then there's not going to be any fights. It's pretty simple.
私たちの子供にもよく伝えるんですけれども、もし2人の人がいて、私のことを私とか自分という気持ちでいたら、やがて喧嘩起こるのは明らかです。もしお互いのことを、他の人のことをいろいろ考えていたら、平和でいられるという、そういうシンプルな原則だと思います。
And I think even, in a church setting or a Chi Alpha setting, if you're coming and you're just thinking about what you can get out of the group, like, oh, I need to hear a good message, or I need this, or I need to feel better about myself, then and everybody's being selfish, there's not going to be real fellowship.
もし自分のことばっかり考えてて、自分のニーズを満たすことを考えたまま、カイアルファとか教会に行って、例えば今日のメッセージで、なんか私のためにメッセージが欲しいなっていう気持ちで行ったら、関心が自分だと、周りの人たちとは本物の交わりを持つことはできません。
And at some point, I mean, it's okay to need the Lord to speak to you and all that kind of thing, or to need encouragement. It's okay to need encouragement, but at some point we need to show up to places and be thinking about other people and what they need.
もちろん神様から必要なことをいただくというその気持ちは大事です。でもそれだけではなく、自分がどこかに行って誰かのために何ができるかという思いを持つことが大事です。
And that's just part of what it means. That's part of what we're called to when we follow Jesus, is to live lives that aren't about ourselves all the time.
で、それがイエス様が言われた教えであって、私たちが召されているのはそのためです。
And it's actually, God asks us to be unselfish because it's actually what's best for us.
神様は私たちに自己中心じゃないように教えられていますが、それは実は私たちのためなんです。
The answer to so many of our problems is just simply get your mind off yourself.
大抵の問題の解決は自分中心に考えることをやめることで、解決が見えてきます。
If you're sometimes we get really hard on ourselves and we're thinking, oh, like I want to be more like Jesus, like I suck, blah blah blah, and the answer is just, hey, get your mind off yourself and get your mind on Jesus.
例えばもう私はなんかすごいうまくいかなかったり悲しかったり、なんかもうイエス様のようになれないとか思って時は自分にフォーカスが当たっているので、自分ではなくイエス様を見上げるということが大事です。
If you want to enjoy your life more, the answer is just get your mind off yourself.
もし自分の人生を楽しみたいと思ったら、自分に焦点を当てるのではなく、ないことで、楽しむことができます。
The other day we were in Yokohama and we were at the seawall, and one of my boys left one of his stuffed animals on the seawall, and we had all left. We were in the car, we were driving home, and he realized, oh, I left my animal by the ocean.
で、先日横浜に行って、海に行ったんですけれども、そこで私の息子の一人がぬいぐるみを置いてきちゃったんですね。忘れてきちゃったのを、それ帰りの車で思い出して、あそこに忘れてきたと言いました。
And we went back to the seawall, and Kristen parked the car in kind of a spot where you're not allowed to park because we were trying to hurry. So she kind of pulled over, and I knew that she wasn't supposed to be there. But I ran out of the car with my daughter Julia to go look for this stuffed animal.
で、急いで戻って、車を、止めちゃいけないようなところにもう急いでたので一時停止して、で、私と娘のジュリアが、忘れてきたぬいぐるみを探しに行きました。
And I was kind of stressed and in a rush. I mean, I was like, let's go, let's find this animal. And we ended up finding the animal. Somebody had just, it was just right there. Nobody had taken it or anything.
結局そのぬいぐるみはもう置いてきたで洗うとこにあって、誰も触ってなかったようで、良かったんですけども、私はとってもなんか急いでたし、ちょっとイライラしてました。
But I was in a rush because I knew that some guy was trying to tell her to to leave the parking place. And so I was trying to hurry back and I was kind of acting stressed.
というのは、早く行かないと、めちゃいけないところに車を置いて止まっていたので、早く戻ろうって言って、ちょっとストレスを感じてました。
And I turned around and I was, I was trying to get my daughter to come fast, but I turned around and she was just walking and kind of smiling and looking around at the trees and at the sky.
そんなのは私の思いとはよそに、娘と言えば、なんか空を見上げたり木を見たりで、ゆっくり歩いてました。
And she just said, she said, Daddy, God made all of this.
そして言ったんですね。お父さん、神様がこれ全部作ったんだよね、と。
And I was just like, whoa, you're right. And I looked and there was this amazing sunset, like an amazing sunset. And I didn't even see it because I was so focused on the problem.
で、娘のそういった言葉を聞いて、あ、そうだよ、その通りだよと思ってふと見ると、すごく綺麗な夕日が見えたんですね。でも私はあまりにも自分の問題にフォーカスしてたので、その綺麗なものが見えなかったんです。
And but my daughter was just thinking she was just looking around and worshiping God.
娘は、その周りの景色を見て神様を賛美礼拝してたんです。それだけだったんです。
But anyway, the point is that we need to get our minds off ourselves.
ですので、もう鍵は私たちが自分のことから、意識をそらすということです。
If we can, sometimes we're making a new friend maybe, and you're going to have coffee. Say you're going to have coffee with a new friend and you're all nervous and self-conscious and just thinking about yourself and, oh, what are they going to like me or whatever? And even in that situation, I mean, if we can have an unselfishness and get our mind off yourself and think about this other person, we're going to be able to be better friends.
例えば、新しいお友達ができて一緒にお茶しようってコーヒー飲みに行って、でも、私この人になんか好かれるかなとかいうふうに思ってるっていうことは自分にフォーカス、注目がいってるんですね。でもそうじゃなくて、その相手のことをに、関心を持っていれば、もう自然と仲良くなれます。
Okay, so the last one is common. Oh yeah. Well, that's a good. We'll just move on. The last one is a common battle.
最後の要素は同じ戦いを戦うということです。
And I think this is where this is where we can get it wrong a lot of times.
で、
This is
これ
yeah.
はちょっと誤解を受け入れやすいというか間違いやすいところです。
I think a lot of times we view Christianity kind of like a social club.
キリスト教はなんかサークルとか人の輪というふうに勘違いされます。
And we are just kind of like we're there to feel good and to encourage each other and there's not a lot of if we're just there to kind of feel good and pat each other on the back, the fellowship is not based on reality.
もし教会に来る目的がなんかここに来ると気持ちがいいからんだよねとか気分がいいからってお互い励まし合っていこうっていうことだけだとそれは本当の交わりではありません。
Because the reality in this world is that we are all in a battle.
というのはこの世に生きているということは私たちは常に戦いの中にあるというのが真実だからです。
We have a real enemy.
本物の敵がいます。
We there's a fight for both me and the devil is fighting. There's a fight for both my heart and everybody around me's heart.
そのサタンは私の心とも攻撃してくるし、他の人々の心を攻撃してきます。
And at first you think that, at first this doesn't make sense because you think, we just need to get together and have fun and relax together. Yeah.
集まって一緒にいると、リラックスもできるし、楽しいしっていうのを思ってると、どうしてっていうふうに疑問を思うかもしれません。
And that's good. We need to do that sometimes, and we need to encourage each other. But the point is that it's good for a moment. But if that's all we do, if that's the whole purpose, like let's just get together and tell each, like feel bad and then go, like that's just not Christianity.
そういうことがあってもいいと思います。でもそれだけだと、それはお互いちょっと励まし合ってそれで終わりだと、それは本物のキリスト教ではありません。
So Jesus said that he came to destroy the works of the devil.
イエス様は言われました。悪魔の働きをなくすためにやってきた。
In other words, he came to win.
言葉を変えれば、それはその戦いに勝利するためにやってきたんです。
He came to defeat the devil.
イエス様がいらしたのは、悪魔との戦いに勝つために来たんです。
And we are called to join that battle as Christians.
で、私たちはキリスト教として、クリスチャンとして、その一緒に戦うというふうに、神様は求めておられます。
And there's nothing that makes me and you closer together than if we're fighting shoulder to shoulder in the battle.
共に戦うという意識を持つときに、それは本当の人間関係を、友情を、育みます。
I think that the best friendships that I've ever had were full of laughter, full of fun. We've had more fun than anyone else, but our fellowship is never self-centered. It's never just about us.
私はいろいろ人間関係で一番素晴らしいなと思ったのは、本当に一緒に笑って、なんでしょう、リラックスして笑い合える仲間と一緒にいる時だったんですけれども、それだけ、So your friendship was to laugh, but that
wasn't the whole point. We would laugh and have so much fun, but then we would talk about our friends that didn't know Jesus, and we would try to bring them into the laughter,
それだけがポイントじゃなくて、イエス様を知らない人と一緒にいて、そのイエス様を知らない人たちも、友達も、一緒に笑わせることがポイントだったんです。
So we're gonna go ahead and I could keep talking about that, but I think we should wrap it up.
お話ししたいこといろいろあるんですけれど、そろそろまとめたいと思います。
So I want to say this last thing, and you can, and then we'll do the discussion questions. But basically, everybody I think on this Zoom meeting is a lot of you. I think one of you said that you weren't even living in Tokyo. I think you guys are all really, a lot of you are from different places. Some of you actually I know that y'all are part of Chi Alpha, like as far as coming in person and being a part of the community. I don't know to what extent all of you are, but everybody has people in front of them. like everybody has some people that God has put in your life.
このカイアルファに集まってる皆さんは、近くに住んでればスチューデントセンターであったりすると思いますけれども、今日は遠くから参加してくださった人もいるということで、皆さんでも共通しているのはカイアルファとつながっていること。そして、あと、神様はあなた方一人の周りに、誰かを送っているということです。
So we all need to ask ourselves, who am I called to love?
ですので、その神様が送ってくださった人をあなたは愛することが必要です。その人は誰でしょうかと神様にお祈りすることが大事です。
And obviously we're called to love everybody, but who am I called to commit to?
もちろんみんな周りの人を愛することは大事ですが、この人に本当にコミットメントを持って、人間関係を築いて愛し続ける人は誰ですかとお祈りすることが大事です。
I think a lot of times people look for people have a self-centered approach to, community and fellowship, and they'll go and they'll look for they'll go to all sorts of different types of meetings looking for, just to get fed or to feel good.
なんかちょっと寂しいからか、自分の欲望、そういうところを満たしてくれるところを求めて、こっちのグループ、あっちのサークルとかっていろいろ回る人がいますけれども、
And a lot of people, they think that their influence is just by, spreading out really thin and being a part of as many things as possible, or having as many shallow friendships as possible.
そういう人たちはもちろんいい影響は与えてはいるでしょうけど、でもそれはとても薄くて、たくさんの人には与えるかもしれないけど、その人たちと育む友情っていうのは本当に薄いものです。
But your life will be fruitful in proportion to how well that you deeply love and are deeply committed to a few people in your life.
しかしあなたが、その友情の質というか、その深さ、どれくらい深いかで、そのなる実も、つまり人生の質も違ってくると思います。
So if God has you with Chi Alpha, then be with these people.
もし神様がカイアルファにつながっていなさいというなら、この人たちと、関係を持ち続けてください。
Fight as hard as you can to be close to them.
どうぞもうできる限りの努力をして、お一人一人と近くなってください。
If God has you with a church that is just 10 people in the church, then it doesn't matter. Fight to be close. Fight to have real fellowship with those people.
で、もし教会に10名の人しかいなかったとしても、その10名とものすごい人間関係、近い深い関係を持てるように、戦ってください。
And if you can have real love and real relationships, and you can start with the people that are right in front of you, then from there God will bring more people.
で、あなたのそばにいる人を愛してより深い関係を持ったときに、神様はここからまた新たな関係を、スタートさせてくださいます。
Jesus, he started with just a handful of people.
イエス様ももう本当に一握りの人から始めました。
But those people loved each other so well that they changed the world.
しかしその人々がお互い愛し合ったので全世界が変わったんです。
And I know that it's not quantity that is going to change Japan. It is quality of friendships.
その人間関係、本物の友情の数で日本が変わるのではないと思います。その質で変わっていくんだと思います。
So the discussion questions are the next slide. So basically, who am I called to do this with? Who has God put me in the battle with? Is there only one young person at my church and I need to learn how to get close to them? Is it Chi Alpha? Whoever it is, I'm going to say in my heart right now that I'm committed to being close to them.
でディスカッションクエスチョンにも、書いたんですけれども、神様があなたの周りにそばに送った人がいると思います。その人を愛して、その人にコミットメントを持つ。その人たちは誰かを考えてみましょう。
And then the second one is just kind of, self-explanatory. Which one of these do you feel like is important for you right now?
今日シェアした5つの要素の中で、あなたにとって一番大事だと思われることはどれかということをちょっとシェアしてみてください。
All right. TJ, or what's next? You guys are awesome. I'm glad to be part of this fight with you guys.
Thank you so much for just sharing and being real with us.
私で分かち合ってくれて、私たちと本物の関係を築こうとしてくださってありがとうございます。
So we're going to go into the breakout rooms, and we are going to discuss the questions that they presented at the end.
じゃあ最後のディスカッションクエスチョンを話し合う時間、ブレイクアウトグループで、持ちたいと思います。
Okay, we're all back. Yeah, also we're back.
So TJ, can you give the announcements?
Yes, this one here. So,
Okay.
This is the calendar for the month of February. We just had our Chi Alpha United today on the 13th. And on this coming Saturday, on the 18th, we're having our Chi Hop Sela, which is a time where we read the word and we also focus on the Bible. It's in the way of our prayer. So we're doing this both online on Zoom and also at the Student Center. So if you want to join us right here, or if you want to join us online also, you can do both. Then the next is on the 23rd. It's a holiday, but it's also the day for the I forgot what's the word for that.
Collegiate Day of Prayer.
Day of Prayer. So we're having a prayer walk in Todai. So if you want to know more about the information, you can text us about that and we'll let you know like this. And 24th, we're having our Chi Alpha Live. So that's our celebration thing. So that's the events we're having for the month of February. So if you need more information about all these, you can just drop us a text or message. Okay. Yeah.
Lastly, I'd like to ask Jacob or Kristen or both of you to close our time with prayer before we go back into our prayer groups, our breakout groups.
All right. Lord Jesus, I thank you that you first loved us, God. And I thank you that you can pour out your love in our hearts so that we can love one another, Lord. And I pray that each one of these people on this screen right here would have deep relationships, Lord, that are only possible because of your love for all of us, Lord. And I pray that you'd help us. God, I pray that each person here, whatever church they're from or group they're at, the people in their life that they're closest to, Lord, I pray that those little little pockets of fellowship would be powerful and just examples to the world of what your love for us is, God. I pray that our love would be an example to the world of your love for us. And in Jesus' name we pray, amen.